On the Fringe with Dan Radio Style. Hope everybody out there's having themselves a great day. This is turning into quite a fiasco. The attack against the free speech is full force right now, and they have to going into the election. This is do or die time, folks. We are in the last 60 days. This is going to be a gnarly time. A lot of expected crazy is going to happen because here's the thing. A lot of the future predictions are based upon the deep state pulling off a lot of the things that they're planning on being successful on with all the censorship, with the election laws, with all this kind of stuff, with spending money to get people just automatically registered, to try to get around voting laws. All of this stuff is happening because of the deep state trying to cheat right before we go into the election. But what they fail to accept, or what most people don't understand when predicting the future, is what our efforts will do. Yours and mine. What will our efforts do to change this, to help, because we're rippling the truth out, because we're helping expand this positive narrative, one that there's freedom and hope for society, not desolation and darkness. They're going after this guy hard. By the way, this dude's like, he obviously is he's super butt, super cut, super buff. He's the dude in charge of Telegram, right? The brothers, one of them. Guy's just ripped. I don't know, I might pull up a picture. I had it up on accident, and I accidentally closed it, I should say, but whatever. It's a trip. It's like, dude, guy's out of control. So 45-47, right? This is like the sign that we're used to seeing, and it's kind of funny because I think we overlook the important part of the symbolism. All right, they got the dash in the middle. And I like how this person here is like, you are here. Hang in there. We're almost done. We've almost filled up the loading bar. That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it is this is kind of the flat line between the two terms. Right? Kind of. It's like the moment where it goes, dude, and just goes flatline, because everything that the Biden-Harris campaign's been doing has been hardcore deep state. So it was right after amazing times with Trump. Things were getting better and better and better, and then he hands it off to him perfectly. And they counter everything he did, and immediately we're in a different place. Now, they're making up some new financial data. It's kind of funny, but when you talk about trying to maybe shock the system, once 47 kicks in, I don't know, this is kind of a neat image that got put out. Triple strike in New York City happened. Very cool. I'm not exactly sure which three buildings these are. I feel like the Empire State Building has to be one of them, but I don't know. I've been there once, and I've been to the top of the Empire State Building, that very upper level echelon. Man, it's weird how much that building moves. That's a trip. That was the weirdest part to me. Anyway, it was cool being way to the hell up there, but you're still like really high in a building. You can't like see anything. Totally cool. This was just funny and deserved to be shared. So, that's what I do. This dude, Stephen King, you guys might know him, he said SpaceX launches are on hold after a booster rocket toppled over in flames while landing Wednesday. Elon Musk responded to that with a wonderful picture, and I'm sure he had Grok do this for him, which is funnier than hell, but it was to put Stephen King in a pile of money with an eggplant in his mouth, with cocaine, I'm guessing, pouring out of the eggplant. Now, that is funny just in and of itself. Oh, yeah, and he's got the It clown in the background. I forget his name, but he's got that in the background, right? What's extra funny is an eggplant is actually considered a penis. Like whenever someone puts an eggplant in like the emojis or whatever, that generally it's like a penis. That's just what it is. You don't have to like it. Could like it. Doesn't matter. He shoved an eggplant in his mouth. And then he says, dick, which I love. So Dan Scavino Jr. obviously wanted a piece of that action too, so he got in on that as well. So that is funny as hell, and I just thought it was worth the time and effort. Thank you very much. General Mike Flynn posted this in regards to Tony Saruga. He posted, the J-6 pipe bomber story is about to break wide open. It will be career-ending for dozens of federal employees, but also ending a presidential campaign. This is very possible because if the Biden campaign was behind that in any way, shape, or form, or if Obama's campaign was in any way, shape, or form, this, I don't know. I think we'll eventually have figured out who this is, and this will, if this actually comes out, I'm going to put it this way. If this actually comes out, I'm going to consider this proof that we are majorly winning. This will be a huge success, a huge victory. If it doesn't happen, yeah, we've got a little more pain to go through. So this is going to be very interesting to see if what comes out on this J6 bomber story. We'll be staying on top of that. Something to keep in mind, about 300,000 children that are missing under the Biden-Harris administration. They're great stewards of our people.
Many of these children are living with predators.
Yes.
Some of these children are in forced sex trade and forced labor. And no one's even looking for them. In my sources of ICE, no one's even looking for them. So I make you this promise. When President Trump's president again, we will go rescue these children and save them.
I asked Donald Trump in my interview with him that I had with Pete and Will at Bedminster, asked him directly, would you locate these children? Will you promise to find the children that the Biden administration has lost? And he told me straight up, that's easy. Absolutely, yes. One last thing I want to note: when you were in charge in charge of Homeland Security and Border Patrol, there was a letter sent by Hillary Clinton, Michelle Obama, and Laura Bush. All three of them saying, we're so upset. We're writing this letter to defend the children, to fight for the children that Donald Trump has separated at the border. Where are they now? Shame on them. I appreciate you joining us, Tom. It's really great to have you, and thank you for bringing attention to this very important topic. Thank you.
I felt bad that last point. She really lamented to get that out there, and it hurt. It hurts. But yeah, 300,000 children missing and gone into God knows what. Certainly, probably slavery in some form, sex slaves or work slaves. Nobody's doing a thing about it. Right? Where's the outrage? None. Zero. Right? Again, 2 tiers of system. I think about it too much, but like my family and stuff, it's just like, how do you guys not see this? Like, I don't get it. It's such a head scratcher to me. This whole like snapping out of the matrix thing is so bizarre. So bizarre. FBI must do more to fight sex crimes against children, the DOJ watchdog is saying. Apparently, the Department of Justice released a report Thursday finding that the Federal Bureau of Investigations regularly failed to properly handle child sex crimes. Ensuring the safety and security of children is not just a priority for the FBI. It is a solemn duty that we are committed to fulfilling with the highest standards. The FBI's efforts combating crimes against children are among the most critical and demanding undertakings we do, this person said. Yet, they continue to fail. Justice Department paid $138.7 million settling 139 claims that the FBI failed to adequately investigate the former USA Gymnastics physician. Just a perfect example. Now, here's the thing. Now, this is really the news story here. There was no question amongst anybody that physician was a pedophile. Zero. It was part of the whole thing. The USA female gymnastics specifically, and boys probably too, was designed to be this way. It always was. It's like Hollywood. Everything where they bring children into stuff amongst a bunch of adults making money on it, yeah, it's almost always, probably always bad, deep state, nasty, gross stuff. There you go. That's how that was playing out. Now, fun little reminder, Tori says brings this up because she's actually going to be in court that same day, which is interesting. So October 3rd, she's in court. October 3rd, there's a hard stop for the election 2020 trial. October 3rd, the Tina Peters sentencing happens. October 3rd, a lot is happening. There's probably some other things maybe even. Now, she does bring up this wonderful post that came with the Mickey Mouse watch. Donald Trump did this, I think, where a lot of us thought it was a date, 10-2, which it could be. A lot of us thought it could be a time, could be. But 10-2 as a date definitely makes sense. It's interesting they use Mickey Mouse specifically, though. That might be an indicator. But nonetheless, interesting day. So people are wondering what's going on either that day or even the day before, where suddenly we're going to be reporting on it. Curious if Cliff Hyde's got any interesting information coming out around that time, if he sees any sort of emotional significance or change in word choices, whatever. So they're talking about U.S. economic growth. They're talking about how it's actually gotten better. Of course. I'm telling you, folks, they're going to tell you everything that they want, that you want to hear. They're going to tell you everything you want to hear. They're losing badly, but they're desperately trying to make it seem like everything's okay. Everything's fine.
New data presents a fresh look at the U.S. economy. U.S. GDP grew at an annual rate of 3% for the second quarter of this year. That beats the previous estimate of 2.8%. And it's up from the 1.4% increase in the first quarter. Joining us now is NBC's Christine Romans. Christine, what do these numbers tell us this morning?
It tells us that the economy was actually strengthening in, April, May, and June, stronger and more resilient than anyone really expected. The consumer driving a lot of this, the consumer irritated by high prices, but still spending, maybe changing how they're spending, what they're spending on, but still driving the economy. And also inside these numbers, Jose, really important.
Yeah, we're just going to stop. I mean, of course, yeah, the numbers and they're high. Like, it's so funny, right? Of course, because people are spending money, that everything's just moving along. GDP's doing great. I love it. I love the fact that they're going to continue to tell us. Again, it's MSNBC. It's partially why I don't give a crap what they have to say. 2,000 workers are gone. This company's called Klarna. It's the first major company to unleash mass layoffs thanks to AI. AI is literally replacing 2,000 people with this particular company. I don't know what they get into. Bubbly nosebleed levels. We quoted a report by Goldman's chief economist, Jan Hatzius, who used data on occupational tasks in both the U.S. and Europe to find that roughly 2/3 of current jobs are exposed to some degree of AI automation, and that generative AI could substitute up to 1/4 of current work. Extrapolating our estimates globally suggests that generative AI could expose the equivalent of 300 million full-time jobs to automate. The hard part about this is, like, this scares a lot of people because a lot of people have a hard time understanding that we're literally transitioning. This is Exodus. We are literally in Exodus. For you Bible people or for anybody that kind of understands the concept, we're literally leaving the old. We're in transition to the new. The new is not going to resemble the old. That's why they keep saying the best is yet to come. We're already on the transition right now. We're kind of trying to guide ourselves as we get there as a society. But that said, a lot of the stupid mundane stuff that people have as jobs right now that they hate in most cases doesn't need to be done by people. What does that mean? That doesn't mean you're out of a job. It means that we need to repurpose you. And a lot of the things that people don't realize is that you actually could do something you enjoy doing. What's something you like to do? What's something you're interested in? This is a question none of us ever ask because we've been programmed forever to try to help everyone else. How can I be more service to you? What can I do for you? Right? Instead of thinking for a second, and I'm not saying be selfish, but I am thinking when it comes to your life and what you do for a living, yeah, be selfish a little bit. What do you enjoy? Think about that. Because a lot of us don't have to do stupid jobs. A lot of this crap is going to get replaced by AI, which, in all honesty, is probably a good thing. It's going to need a lot of power. That's why Elon Musk is building the Gigafactory and stuff like that. They need a lot of power to generate, to be able to run that many servers, especially when they spin up. You need to be able to really be able to ramp stuff up. So again, it's not as simple as they make it sound like, oh, we just throw AI at it. Well, that's AI is a bunch of servers in a cooled place somewhere, and that they're actually doing the work, which is fine. It's doable, but it takes hardware, and that hardware sometimes breaks and login issues, and so it to me is very funny how easy people are becoming dependent on AI. Like, it's happening way, way faster than I thought it would. Like, people are just running to it. Everybody I know, everybody even remotely close to me is using AI. I'm not, and I should be, but I'm not. I love it. I love being like the guy that's like, I'm going to be the one dude walking around that's like, yeah, no, I still know how to think for myself and stuff. And people are like, well, how have you managed that? No, I didn't put apps on my phone. I didn't get a lot of these crazy things like where I thought AI could do everything for me. I still want to be a part of the world, have a part and play a part and have conversations. It's fun. Dollar store shares have dropped 26%. This is weird to me. The main weird part is, they're saying the decline is because, this is the CEO saying it, by the way, but he says it's because customers feel financially constrained, so they're not going to dollar store. Where are they going then? 99-cent store out here closed in California. A bunch of them. Girlfriend knew, and kind of don't shop there. No offense. I'm not trying to be a dick. My normal job, I make decent money. I'm not bad, but whatever the case is, CEO Yeah, people are financially constrained, so they're not going to the Dollar General, where everything's like under $5 probably. However that works, I don't know exactly. Just a reminder, and I think this is true, and I think this is a dude from Breaking Bad. Negocios says Negocios. I love this guy. Well, I don't. I mean, like, I loved his. I just loved the character. I love that movie. Show. I thought it was a bitchin' ass show. It was written so well, so beautifully written. I'm sure there's others. The biggest scam in life: paying taxes on money you make, taxes on money you spend, and taxes on things you own that you already paid taxes on with money already taxed. Right? Like, they tax the living crap out of us. The system is not doing well. Their system, for sure. They've been pumping money into this thing forever. This bubble should have popped at least 4 years ago, experts say. And bubbles only last, they're saying, about 6 to 8 years. So putting that in perspective, we're about 4 years past due of a bubble pop. About 50% more time. This is likely not going to be great. Now, here's the thing. Just because the stock goes crap doesn't mean it's not going to come back. Let's talk about that for a quick second. True, and it's 100% true. What I want all of you guys, though, to consider doing is actually grab your Fidelity statement, get a hold of it somehow so you can see it. Grab your Fidelity, your BlackRock, your any of those, because a lot of those guys are doing the ESG investing, the DEI investing. They're doing a lot of that kind of stuff. Now, look at where a lot of your money's at. And when you do, you'll notice in most cases it's going to be your deep state companies. Now, who are the companies that are most likely going to have the hardest time going through this? Let me just throw an example out as a company that you would never have thought would have had a hard time, but is. Boeing, right? Boeing. Huge company. Most of us are invested in it. Not doing well. Not going to do well. Still got people stranded on the space station. They were supposed to get them back in 10 days. They're like 90 days in now, literally. Thank God the space station has food and stuff and actually supports people. But Boeing's a company that literally has taken a crap, and I don't know what happened, and it's sad. My grandpa worked there, and it really, really bothers me. They suck. The system is not what they pretend it to be, or not what they portray it to be, not what they tell us it is. You know, GDP is doing really well. Yeah, they had to revise the number of jobs down, 818,000 jobs. Does that sound like a growing economy? Because it was 1.4% GDP. Now it's 3% GDP, and we had to revise back 25% of the overall jobs. Just saying. If you think they're telling us the truth, they're not. They're going to keep telling you to stay in your stock. Now, again, if you're in stocks that matter, because stocks that are companies that aren't deep state, cool. You're probably good. Seriously, look at your portfolio. If you can switch over to it somehow, awesome. That's a good idea. If you have someone that's investing your money as a person, that's actually looking out for you, not necessarily like these giant money funds that are controlled by the deep state. If you've got someone like that, you're probably good. This is probably not the thing for you. It might be. It's still a great idea, and you're still going to make more money than you will in the stock market, for sure. But you've got somebody at least that's helping you steer through this. That's important. The dollar's getting creamed by inflation constantly, and whatever they tell us, it's not going to get better. We're going to find out more bad information coming soon, and there's an expectation of a black swan event. You don't want to be behind that. You don't want to be on the wrong side of that. Let's put it that way. Two, right now the stocks they're going to go up a little teeny tiny bit because there's going to be some positive news that they keep putting out, like the GDP numbers. Yeah, and then that's going to fade, kind of like Kamala Harris's. It's not going to be good. DRSlikesgold.com. DRSlikesgold.com. If you have a 401k, an IRA, get out. Just get out while you can. While the getting's good, as they would say. Get into precious metals. Precious metals right now are doing incredibly well. They have gone up an insane amount. They're continuing to go up. This is not one of those things where you want to wait a long time because it's only getting more and more, quote, expensive to buy precious metals, only because the dollar's getting more and more less valuable. And it's a very solid way to gauge how well the dollar's doing is based off the price of gold and silver. It's not doing well. The longer you wait, the more you're going to lose out on what is already a process in and of itself. DRSlikesgold.com, DRSlikesgold.com. Goldco makes this process easier, faster, safer, and you have questions. That's what I mean by safer. You can ask as many questions as you want, and you should. You're encouraged to do it, and they're awesome about helping you understand what you're about to do. It's not a freaky thing. It's just understanding. And really, once you understand it, you're like, okay, this makes sense. And it does. That's why my commercials are so long for this, because it requires explaining so many complex things to understand why this actually is a good idea. Goldco makes it fast. They've got the ability to, well, one, it's physical metal put in truss. So that's one thing right off the table. A lot of people think it might be paper. No, real. Get out of their system into something that's physical assets, physical metal. You can have it sent to you. You can draw from it. You can pay into it. It's a precious metals IRA. It handles all the tax stuff the same way. You're getting out tax-free, penalty-free, sidestepping right into something that's performing admirably well right now. Go to drslikesgold.com, drslikesgold.com. Get out of their system before they get out of you. And that is their plan. They don't want you to have money or wealth or anything. All right, let's get into all this censorship stuff. French authorities charge Telegram's Durov in a probe into organized crime on the app. So they have now said that he's out on bail, like 5.65 million euros, whatever it was. He's supposed to report to the cops twice a week. I'd be surprised if he doesn't disappear. I'm going to be surprised if he doesn't disappear. I hope he does. He's out on bail right now. I truly hope he disappears to a place where he doesn't have to worry about this and he realizes what's up, and now we know for sure that the game is on. And France will have failed in doing their illegal control of Telegram, and it's not going to happen, but that's what they're trying to do in the big picture. So Telegram founder Pavel Durov hit with criminal charges in France after refusing to help authorities wiretap users, and that's what this comes down to. They sent him a bunch of messages that they wanted him to wiretap specific people that they felt were doing criminal stuff. And he's like, he didn't really respond. He didn't care. He's too busy running around, having a friggin' perfect body. Again, I'm gonna look this guy up. Let me look him up just so you guys can see this. This is so ridiculous. And I'm not trying to sound gay. I apologize. I know I do, but whatever. I don't care. This guy works out hard. I go to the gym every day, except Saturday. I'm working on it, but whatever. Look at this. This is ridiculous. This guy is so stupid buff. Look at this. This is stupid. This guy obviously works out, I'm going to say, and doesn't drink, which, yeah, anyway. Here's the CIA, FBI Wiretap Act and Hatch Act. Dude, what's his name? Yeah, Schellenberger. Dude's a rock star. He's talking about how the CIA and how these people have been using these side steps to cheat the system. And this is, dude, we're all learning what's happening. Like this, everyone looks forward to this day when we finally has control, right? We're literally gaining control right now. Like this is, every day this is happening. We're living through it at human speed. What you're hoping for is manifesting right now. We're literally walking through the manifestation process. Like it is unfolding. It is occurring. That's not it. Let's try this again. There we go.
Zuckerberg's letter went further than what he told Joe Rogan in 2022 because he specifically mentioned Burisma, the Ukrainian natural gas company that Hunter Biden worked for. Zuckerberg wrote, "The FBI warned us about a potential Russian disinformation operation about the Biden family and Burisma in the lead up to the 2020 election. Nobody at the FBI has gone to prison or even been properly investigated for their crimes. And yet the evidence shows that the CIA and FBI broke the Wiretap Act and the Hatch Act of 1939, which prohibits federal employees from using their official authority or influence to interfere with or affect the outcome of an election. First, the FBI violated the Wiretap Act when it misused information it had obtained from spying on Rudy Giuliani. The FBI knew that the New York Post story about the Hunter Biden laptop would be coming out because it was listening to Giuliani's telephone calls. The Wiretap Act, formerly known as Title III of the Omnibus Crime and Control and Safe Streets Act of 1968, requires that information obtained through a wiretap can only be used for purposes directly related to the investigation for which the wiretap was authorized. Misusing or improperly disclosing this information can result in criminal penalties for the individuals involved, and the evidence obtained can be excluded from court proceedings. The FBI both misused and improperly disclosed the information. Second, the FBI spread disinformation, information it knew to be false, in order to interfere in the election. The FBI warned Facebook, Twitter, and others that forthcoming information about Burisma and Biden was Russian disinformation. The The FBI knew that the Hunter Biden laptop wasn't Russian disinformation because it already had the laptop in its possession for 10 months and was spying on Giuliani. The FBI knew that the laptop was what it appeared to be, something obtained by a computer repair store owner after Hunter Biden brought it in and never came back for it.
Right. And so we have this issue where the deep state's been doing this against us. They actually have interfered in the election. It happened last election. And we have all this stuff happening right now that implies they're trying to do it again, except we're aware of it. Now, whether we win every single battle or not, I don't know, but we're going to win a bunch of them. And so they are going to be hugely held back from what they originally were going to do. Now, this was posted based on reporting from Mike Benz. We just launched investigations into the Biden-Harris State Department to determine whether the U.S. Embassy in Paris had advanced knowledge of or may have played a role in coordinating the arrest of Telegram CEO Pavel Durov. I didn't mean to spin back into that, but I wanted to kind of show how the government involves itself in a lot of things. Now, again, we have a deep state that's running this country. It's not the American people that are bad, but our government is messed up. Our form of government is the best ever. The people that have actually risen to the places of power are abysmal nightmares. So we are coming to terms with that as a population and being allowed the opportunity to undo it. U.S. government-funded censorship arm, the Atlantic Council, has targeted Telegram just 2 months before this Durov arrest. You see, they've been going after Telegram for, a lot of reasons. What's funny, and this story talks about how the CIA and the FBI and the government here in this country has actually used Telegram to communicate secretly. Russia was trying to get into that because they knew what was happening. They wouldn't let them. Telegram wouldn't let Russia in. And so then once they broke out of Russia, essentially, and became members of France's community as a new citizens, then all of a sudden, now we're attacking them because people like us are using it against them. And they don't like that. It was great when they were using it against us, but they don't want us using it against them. And yet we are. And here we are. And then you've got Twitter, or X, that is posting truth. And though they may not like what you're saying and they may limit your reach per se, but they're not going to limit your speech. Like, it's still there. People that follow you can see it and will see it, but they're not necessarily going to promote it outside of your circle. Right, wrong, and different. You're still speaking freely. They're in a tough place right now, and they're losing badly. Telegram's popularity is soaring. This is certainly helping there, and they've got roughly 1 billion people that use it. Now, one of the things I keep referencing is this Mackey model. This Mackey model refers to a case of Douglas Mackey. He was an American citizen who was arrested, tried, and convicted of a felony for distributing memes mocking Hillary Clinton back in 2016. 2016, this guy was making memes that had fake information. It had something to do with voting and elections. It was something very kind of almost nefarious, but is what it is. Mackey's case represents a thus far successful attempt, and it's on appeal right now, by the way, but it's a successful attempt to codify much of this disinformation scam into criminal law. They need a case that sticks that they can then refer to. This is how they do the media. This is how they push out shit stories. They have somebody write a shit story, and then they on the media refer to that shit story, and that validates each other. And that's how they push the shit story. Same thing's happening here. They need to get an arrest on the books, so then every following arrest can be referred to back to that arrest. Now, that arrest, that initial one, is being appealed, and it's probably going to lose. But if Mackey's arrest represents the regime's willingness to attack and arrest citizens for unapproved speech, Durov's arrest represents Western governments' increasing willingness to arrest censorship-resistant tech CEO for not playing ball like the regime lackeys that used to control big tech exclusively. And here's a little minute of Durov talking kind of about the same general concept, and it was with Tucker.
To be fair, you have now Twitter or X, that seemingly becoming more pro freedom of speech. It's a great development, and things are starting to change, it seems. We love the fact that Elon bought Twitter. We thought it was a great development for a number of reasons. First reason is just innovation. You could see X trying a lot of things. Some of them will turn out to be mistakes. Some of them will work, but at least they're trying to innovate. That's something we didn't have outside of Telegram and a few other companies in this industry for the last 10 years. What X is trying to do is, innovation, trying different things, trying to give power to the creators, trying to get the ecosystem economy going. Those are all exciting things. And I think we need more companies like that. I don't know if it's good for humanity that Elon is spending so much time on Twitter, making it better, but it's definitely good for the social media industry.
Right. Hugely good for the social media industry. I love how he says it, though. I'm not sure if it's good for the world. I mean, this is coming from a dude that comes from Russia, but he also left Russia because of freedom issues. But he's kind of calling it out. Like, he's right. We are fighting for free speech. Don't know if that's necessarily good for the world. I'm sure it is. I have no doubt in my mind. But he's like, it's good for this social media bullshit. Judge threatens to shut down X in Brazil. Supreme Court judge warned Elon Musk Wednesday that he would have X suspended in Latin America's largest nation if the billionaire didn't name a legal representative for the platform in the country within 24 hours. Justice Alexandre de Moraes summons alerting Musk that X has until 8 p.m. local time Thursday to comply with the order comes after the platform announced earlier this month that it would close its operations in Brazil over what it called the judge's censorship orders. Moraes announced in April that he was investigating Musk for obstruction of justice after the former ex-CEO vowed to defy a court order blocking certain accounts on his platform in Brazil. Here's what Musk understands. If he says anybody that they're representing him there, they will capture that individual and hold them ransom, so Musk has to show up for trial, like what they're doing in France. So look at, the countries that are so heavily just dictators running them. We've certainly got a dictator down in Brazil. We certainly have a dictator. Macron is the biggest pile of shit, merde, to ever walk the face of this earth. I don't know. Canada, Justin Castro's right up there, and certainly our knuckleheads are just ridiculous. But you guys at least have people that are capable of having conversations and stuff. We don't. Our current government our current administration can't fill 5 minutes of their own thoughts and not sound like absolute total idiots repeating themselves for the sake of repeating themselves. When they repeat themselves, they do it so often, repeatingly. Strange. Democrats trying to censor AI-created memes before the election. Literally. They're pissed off, and it's Grok specifically they're going after, Musk's AI. Why do they hate Musk's AI? Because Musk's AI is actually going to counter their AI. That's why they hate the AIs, because the AIs are just going to be part of the information war. So automated intelligence, automated info is really what AI is. I know it's artificial intelligence, but it's all it is automated info. They're going to automate info. They're going to program people with info that's controlled by AI. That's all. You put AI at the choke points and then everything's easy. Well, Grok could mess with that because it could also create its own version of choke points that are like anti what the AI is doing. It could adjust based off of what their AI is doing, and they could be like, all right, we'll throw a counter fight at you. There's a lot of crazy that can happen. They don't like that because we are winning. OpenAI is in talks for funding round, valuing it at about $100 billion. Thrive Capital and Microsoft are among investors putting several $1 billion into ChatGPT Maker. So OpenAI is the original ChatGPT maker. They're trying to get those guys going, well, hard and strong to be able to go after ChatGPT, make another version. There's also, I don't know if it was this article, if there's another one, but there's a lot of concern around China getting their hands on the same technology. But one way or the other, they're going to. Oh, this is 9 minutes. We're going to play this at 1.2 speed, but Brick, I thought this was super good. It was Musk talking to Mike Pence. And he really gets into how the CIA has been using this technology against us. Again, I think it's worth the time. I hope you guys will give it to me. It's 9 minutes normal time. It'll be, I don't know, 1.2 speed, I don't know, 7 minutes-ish. But it should help enlighten the bigger picture for where we're heading and what's going on.
So this feels like, there have been a lot of arrests in the last few years, including a number of people I know, get arrested for political reasons. But the jailing of the founder and owner of Telegram feels like a pivot point. It feels like a moment in history and probably a harbinger of, the next few years or decades. I hope I'm wrong. So the question is, like, what is this? How did this happen? France arrests him on a fuel stop. He's a French citizen, by the way, but he lives in Dubai. Arrests him. That's a big step. Very hard for a bystander without direct knowledge, being me, to believe that Macron could or would have done that without the encouragement or at least agreement of the Biden administration. You were the first person I thought of. Got you here as fast as we could. So I'm going to just stand back, and I would very much like to hear you explain what you think happened in this arrest, how it happened, what it means, who was involved.
Well, we don't know yet. And part of what I've been talking about, which is the suspected role of the U.S. Embassy in the arrest, or as you put it, I think perfectly, we don't know if it was participation or approval or nothing. And I'll play devil's advocate against my own argument here, but I feel compelled to make this argument because we're not getting the answer from the Congress who should be getting it for us, which is to say that an entity like the House Foreign Affairs Committee, if it was committed to free speech, would be interrogating whether or not there was a U.S. Embassy back channel to French law enforcement or French intelligence or the French government in terms of doing this, because this is a pattern of practice that the U.S. Embassy has pursued all over the world, and particularly in Europe, through branding like anti-corruption or whatnot. This is something, even dating back to Norm Eisen when he was the ambassador to the Czech Republic, championing these sort of anti-corruption reforms from the Czech government to arrest the politicians who essentially opposed the State Department agenda there. This is very common. If you go to places like the Journal of Democracy, which is the academic journal for the National Endowment for Democracy, which is probably the most notorious CIA cutout in the whole arsenal, they have whole academic journals on how to push the Poland government to arrest the politicians from the PIS party, from the Law and Order party, especially in the judicial system. And
to arrest them?
Yes, to mass arrest. We have a concept in American statecraft called transitional justice, which is this idea that essentially after the U.S. overthrows a country, we arrest all of the opposition politicians, opposition judges, opposition journalists, propaganda spreaders, in order to stop the reemergence of threats to democracy. No, I'm not joking.
You make it a one-party state so it can be a democracy.
Right. Well, is this China pushing this, or the United? Just to be clear, or the United States? This is the United States, and we do that to stabilize the democratic institutions and effectively make it cheaper for the United States to manage, because you don't need to manage the constant recurring threat of the party you just vanquished. So this was something that the U.S. State Department was spearheading years before Trump got into office, and it was so effective that these same cast of characters are back for Trump. Norm Eisen was the one who spearheaded, the impeachment. He drafted articles of impeachment before Trump was even took the oath of office, and also led the elements of the 2019 Ukraine impeachment, the lawfare that's currently being done with the 90 plus felonies against Trump. So this is a instrument of statecraft, the use of prosecutions in order to bring leverage against and to get rid of pesky people who oppose the State Department's priorities. But in the specific case of Telegram, there's a lot going on here.
Let me just pause really quick. We could know a lot more about the Biden administration's involvement through the U.S. Embassy in Paris if a single House committee controlled by Republicans would just jump on it.
Yes.
I think that's what you said earlier.
Yes, absolutely. And the problem is our Congress is not sticking up for us as this is happening all over the world. Just this year, the drama around Brazil has been a huge issue for Elon Musk and X. And the House held a hearing on it, and then the House Foreign Affairs Committee titled the hearing was "Brazil: A Crisis of Democracy, Rule of Law, and Governance?" But they did not interrogate the U.S. State Department's role in censorship in Brazil. It was actually the U.S. State Department who capacity built, spending tens of millions of dollars, the entire censorship ecosystem in Brazil. They spent tens of millions of dollars paying Brazilian journalists, Brazilian censors, Brazilian fact checkers, even members of the legal scholarship associated with Brazil's censorship court, and effectively pressured through that NGO soft power swarm Brazil to set up the entire censorship architecture it now has. They set that up.
Why would the U.S. government, which represents the U.S. Constitution and democracy, be trying to end you can't have democracy with censorship by definition. So why would we be trying to end democracy in country after country? Like, what is the point of that?
Well, this is one of the great ironies of American statecraft in the post-2016 era. Free speech has been an instrument of statecraft since for U.S. diplomacy, military, and intelligence purposes since the 1940s. Free speech around the world has been something we've championed, in part because we believe it, but in large part, I should note, because this is how you can capacity build resistance movements or political movements or paramilitary movements in countries that the U.S. State Department seeks to attain political control over. If there's no free speech, then there's no political movement that you can capacity build to regime change the government or to maintain elements of control over the existing government. And so this is why the State Department capacity built all these NGOs. The USA does it as well, like Freedom House and the whole wing of, for example, the 26 NGOs who condemned Russia for attempting to ban Telegram in 2018. Why would 26 U.S. government-funded NGOs all say that Russia was attacking free speech in Russia by threatening to block Telegram? Well, it was because the U.S. State Department was using Telegram as through the power of its encrypted, chat and all the functionality and the fact that so much of Russia was using it to foment protests and riots within Russia, just as they did in Belarus, just as they did in Iran, just as they did in Hong Kong, just as they attempted to do in China. So Telegram is this very, very powerful vehicle for the U.S. State Department to be able to mobilize protests, to be able to galvanize political support against authoritarian countries. This is why the U.S. government loved Telegram so much from 2014 to 2020, because it was this powerful way to evade state control over media or state surveillance over private chats because of the private functions and anonymous forwarding. All these unique features of Telegram allow it to have U.S.-funded political groups or political dissidents get tens of thousands of people to their cause with relative impunity. It's effectively unstoppable by a regime like Lukashenko in the summer of 2020, when the U.S. government was, effectively orchestrating a color revolution in Belarus. And let me just take a sip first.
This is exactly why this thing was created. It was created as a means to be able to do this sort of communications. And now they don't like the fact that we're using it against them. So they're trying to come after it. TikTok's kind of another example of that, only in that it's not the United States deep state that's trying to manipulate American people, but yet another government that's trying to manipulate American people. So, the Chinese version of the deep state, CCP, whatever, call it what you want. The difference in their mind. Meet the think tank planning a second Trump administration. And it's not Project 2025. This reminded me of the whole idea of Project 2025. I don't really care about the article, but it was the discussion about Trump said multiple times he's not part of 2025, Project 2025. Not part of it, not a thing to do with it. What's interesting is this Project 2025 and this group here are people that are supposedly were close to Trump in his last administration. Let me point out a key fact. They used to be close to Trump in his last administration. They're not currently close to Trump, are they? No. Why? Whatever. These people are putting together all these, like, here's an executive order, here's all these things that are ready to go. Like, this is, I think, kind of the same money like of the Cheney people and all that sort of McCain money and all that, like, quote-unquote Republican money that hides behind the Republicans that wants to pretend they're Trump supporters, but they want to get through their crazy versions of the bill. But here's the funny thing, right? These guys claim that we're just getting all these people ready so when Trump gets into office, we can just hand all this stuff to him because, he needs that. Does he? You don't think Trump's surrounded himself with people he trusts that are already planning what's going to happen when he gets into office? Do you think he needs Project 2024 or whatever, 2025, Project 2025 to tell him what's a good idea? What do you think, Project 2025? I'm Kamala Harris. I don't know what to do. I talk to hands. What, what? Come on. This is, I sound like Biden now. Come on, man. This is, this is ridiculous. It is so funny to me, and yet people buy it. Now, some of the stuff they would never tell you, you'd never find out about if the deep state wins. Melania Trump, she became the #1 bestseller. Her book's killing it. Killing it. Former First Lady's memoir revealing intimate details of how she met Donald Trump. Do tell, darling. I don't give a shit. That's disgusting. She's hot as hell, though. If she talked about her underwear drawer, I'd probably read that chapter. I'll tell you what. In Texas, you understood me right there, didn't you? I said it in your language. I learned that from, was it Bill Engvall? I think it was. Funny jokes. I tell you what. What? I done told you. Funny as hell. It's all fake and paid for. So the college athletes are being offered thousands to endorse Montana senator's re-election bid through these deals. This is so messed up. So it's a Democrat college, a Democrat senator in a contentious place in Montana. This is a tough battleground place. Literally went to the college, got the athletes from the college to promote them on video, and they gave them money for that. You guys remember recently, too, they took away that whole thing. It's been a while. I'm not a sports guy, so all you sports people can get pissed at me for, damn, it's forever ago. All right, whatever. But when they decided that collegiate athletes could actually get paid for certain stuff, like they could sponsorships and crap like that changed everything. Because it used to be, or the Olympians maybe it was. Maybe I'm confusing two things. It's possible. Whatever the case is. They're going to collegiate athletes, offering them money, so they'll say, I like him. I think he's great. When he sticks his money in my mouth, it makes me so happy. Whatever. So this is disgusting. This is a place, Montana. I don't know what the actual district. Senator John Tester. It's kind of funny that his name's Tester. You got to love the names sometimes. The names are hilarious. I almost feel like sometimes they tell us exactly what's going on. Really? Guy's last name's Tester? You testing it out? Right? Testing the testes? What's going on? This is crazy. But Montana is trying this little weird thing where they get collegiate athletes so they can get all the young people to think this douchehole's the right guy to choose. We are in a weird place, folks. It's a information war. We've talked a lot about it. Reddit suffers massive outage with users worldwide struggling to use the social site yesterday at about 3:45 p.m. I don't know. Came back on, I'm sure. But look at this picture. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Right. Every single one of you said Nancy Pelosi, right, when she was younger. Right? It's obviously Nancy Pelosi. About 4 of you said the truth, but overwhelmingly, 99.99% of you said that's Nancy Pelosi when she was younger. Nope. That's Tim Tampon's wife. Yes. I know. Right? You can't make this shit up. No, that's his wife. Tim Walz. There's Mrs. Walz. There she is. Mrs. Walz. I bet she likes to drink too. Oh, KT. Oh, yeah, it was at Camel Toe. That's right. I was like, whoa, that's right. Oh, shit. Open back up. Open sesame. All right, there we go. Now we got it. Okay, Elon Musk posted this in regards to Kamala Harris's post back in the day. She said an undocumented immigrant is not a criminal. Kamala's words. Musk says the U.S. Democratic Party as a whole has a massive incentive to bring in and legalize illegal immigrants as they vote overwhelmingly Democrat. Yeah, but they take jobs from themselves. You're cannibalizing yourself as a Democrat if you're actually following this, which is hilarious. Super smart. No grand conspiracy theory is needed. The simple incentive of winning elections explains why they won't even deport criminals who assault police officers on camera. Because that would mean losing those votes. That last part's almost hyperbolic, but I don't think it is, because we've seen demonstrations of it, which is really weird. You all can afford to lose a few, right? The ones that assault cops, you should deport them. Come on. Even if you got to drop them out of a plane with an parachute over their country, we won't take them back. Oh, really? Yeah, I got an idea. Literally. Nope, we're strapping a parachute to you, buddy. I hope it works. Should. I packed it myself. And push him right out the back. Wah! And just pull the cord, right? Or, like one of the ones where you run out. The dudes run out and thing pulls it for you, just in case you get stupid. My buddy Alpha always talks about the Marines, how they got up and they spell stuff out like on the weapons, like face towards enemy, right? It's just like, you don't want to be wrong, that's for sure. ABC News rejects Kamala Harris's last-minute bid to change the Trump debate rules. She wanted to keep the mics unmuted, they say. I don't understand that. So this whole thing, first off, it's ABC, so I completely do not trust it. What I'm sharing the story for is because there's got to be a nugget of truth in there. So the nugget of truth is that somehow Kamala Harris, I think, tried to make some sort of change to the agreement. Donald Trump probably said no. Then ABC's like, yeah, no, we didn't want to do it because that's just unethical. That's my understanding. That's what I get from this. Very curious what she asked for. My guess is the question's up front, probably. And Trump's like, no, I won't do it. Screw you. I'll go public with it. I'll tell everybody. Oh, you signed a non-disclosure. No. I'm sure Trump, dude, this is a game. It's a game. I am so glad I'm not Trump, dude. I'm sure when you become a billionaire, you've learned a lot of things along the way. Musk too. Like these guys, hopefully Zuckerberg. I'd like to see that happen. I'd like to see him come to the light. I think there's room for you, my friend. I think there is. Even though if you are a cyborg, I think we can make room for you. Donald Trump. Truth this out. Dana Bash of CNN has a chance of greatness today. If she gave a fair but tough interview of Comrade Kamala Harris, she will expose her as being totally inept and ill-suited for the job of president, much as I exposed crooked Joe Biden during our now famous debate. How cool would that be for Dana and CNN? Also, the interview should not have a tampon Tim present to help with the inevitable Kamala stumbles, and under no circumstances should the transcript be allowed to be changed in any way, shape, or form. Dana and Jake were fair but firm in my CNN debate with Crooked Joe. This is a chance for Dana Bash to reach real stardom while at the same time doing a great service to our now failing country. Good luck, Dana. Do the right thing. DJT. I'm curious to see what Dana does. Again, I don't know. I want to broadcast it, but if she doesn't, then it's like, then we give her the money anyway, right? Like, I'd rather, if she does it, in hindsight, promote her. That's how it's going to be. So I don't think I'm going to do the live. I'm not going to stream it tonight. I don't want to, because I just don't want to help promote this. You guys watch it, you should. If not, we'll have snippets probably, I'm sure, tomorrow. I'm expecting that to happen. I don't know if I'll watch it. We'll see. I don't think it's going to be good, and I think he's there, the Walls is there to, make sure she doesn't stumble on herself. So I don't believe it at all. Tesla CEO Elon Musk enlists the help of a Republican advisor to increase and guide his political involvement. Wants to make sure he doesn't break any laws. Wants to make sure he can maximize his efforts. I like that. Tesla's literally paying a dude, hopefully somebody we trust. I hope he talked to Donald Trump about who he chose, and I would bet he did. But we'll see. Chris Young, seasoned Republican operative, served as the National Field Director for the Republican National Committee during his 2016 cycle. So we'll see. We'll see. He obviously did well then. Greg Kelly, wow, good Lord, put this out. George W. Bush is contemplating an endorsement of Kamala Harris. If that's even remotely true. If that's true. Wow. For a lot of people, it's going to be tough. I hate the Bush. I don't hate anybody. I dislike the Bushes tremendously. In fact, that's the funny little sticking point for the one family I knew. I've talked about this before. I've alleged this before. But that was the place where I would throw little kidney punches, was on the George Bush stuff, because I always felt that they were kind of tied into that family. I don't know how. They might have been, whatever. But they get pissy when I bitch on them. That was fun. Good times. Good times. Tough place, but good times. George W. Bush. Yeah. We'll see, buddy. You go ahead. Come on out. Come on. Come out of your little underground bunker thing that you hang out in all the dang time. I think we used to call you a Will, if I remember correctly. Michigan Supreme Court ruled Wednesday that Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson's election guidelines for Michigan's challengers were properly developed, allowing most of them to stay in place for the upcoming presidential election. So she got some of her stuff in there, not all of it, some of it. It is what it is. Now, here is Michigan Secretary of State Jocelyn Benson also, in a reasonably short period of time, now threatening election officials who would consider not certifying the results. What do you think is coming? Now, everyone is playing, by the way, and this is what's kind of, I think, supposed to happen. We're kind of hitting a splat on the wall. This election is going to be contested by both sides, probably. So one side's going to declare they won, or we will have so overwhelmingly won that we'll have won, and then the other side will declare that we didn't win. They'll be like us last time, and, they'll storm January 6th. Like, that'll be the new January 6th. We'll be a bunch of progressive, like, pink mask-wearing people, pink hair, blue hair. You'll see it. You'll know. It'll be ridiculous. But anywho, here's her telling us dictatorship type shit.
If someone were to violate the law and not certify the election at the local level, we will come for you. So any local certifier thinking of skirting the law and not certifying the vote, don't even think about it, because we'll get it.
Wow. I mean, that's wow. Wow, actually. I didn't watch that before. I just figured that's probably good. 16 seconds can't be wrong. That was the jackpot. Arrest made at the University of Michigan after police mobilized to stop a pro-Palestine demonstration at the Diag during the festival on campus. The Diag, I don't know how to say that. Whatever the case is, I don't know why they got arrested. I would love to have known what they'd done wrong. They did wrong. They arrested a couple, three, and then that's bullshit after, so we'll watch a little of this. She's called the Moose. We like the Moose. She doesn't give up. Yeah, this is I don't know what they did wrong. Obviously something, but they're arrested. That's fun. That's good times. Here is what's going on, and this is Aurora, Colorado. Aurora is such a beautiful place. It sounds like no, it's not anymore. Thank you, Colorado. Again, another example of what happens when you kick the police out of your communities, when you are a hardcore Democratic community that's been that way for a long time. No offense, but I'm sorry. It's just the facts speak for themselves. And here is an example of a city near you. Possibly. I don't say that because that's scary. I don't like that per se, but you'll be in the right place because your heart's in the right place, but all the people that you know that are douches, their apartment buildings or their floor or whatever might be at risk to this kind of behavior, unfortunately. And this was it was an apartment complex. Councilmember Dan Jurinsky says gangs have taken over the complex. If you live here, think about it. This is how Mexico is with the cartels and stuff. This is messed up. Every one of those dudes except this guy are carrying a gun. This guy's carrying a phone. So obviously he's the one that's working with others, but that's messed up. Like, I know I wouldn't answer the door, but I'd be very concerned about the potentiality of speaking through it from within inside. I'll say that much. I've got something that would work just fine in that situation. Just fine. They got a great Labor Day sale going on right now, by the way. Cool, it's already on my site, too. These guys are awesome. I love these guys. MyPillow.com/OTF. Just get that OTF coupon code no matter what. Just go to MyPillow.com/OTF. Easy way to do it. They got mattress sale that is unbelievable. Labor Day mattress sale. Obviously, Labor Day is coming up. I hope you guys enjoy it. Extra day off for those of you that get it and get to enjoy that. 50% off plus $100 off. $439 for a mattress that they literally mail to you. If you've got a mattress literally that's 15 years old, 10 years old, 20 years old for sure, get one of these. I mean, if you live out in places I've come from, I guess you just throw it out in the back and burn it. Otherwise, I think your trash people will pick up a mattress, right? You just put it out there. You call them up for special delivery. A lot of them do a couple a year usually, right? So get rid of your mattress. And literally, you can get another one. And you're coming from an awesome company, but they literally can mail it to you. That's the part that's the trippiest to me. $439, so starting right there. A mattress, beautiful new mattress for your bed. You don't have that nasty one that you roll into the middle every night when you get there because it's like never got flipped over, should have, didn't. And you're like, oh, you flip mattress? Oh, that's a good idea, right? Like, yeah, you should flip mattresses if you got one of those. All said. Amazing sale they've got going on with those, plus the original pillow. I love it. $19.98. Anything over $75, by the way, is free shipping, which this would qualify. Think about that. Who cares how they get it to you? You don't got to pay for it. You just got to pay for the mattress. That's pretty cool, right? And they got a topper too. You should get one of those while you're going for it. $100 right there. Get the two together. $539. You got a brand new mattress, brand new topper on top of it, which you almost don't even need. I don't know. It's up to you. Maybe you just want to live and love the mattress for a little bit, then get the topper and take it to that next level, because then you appreciate it even more. So, sometimes it's about hardship just to be able to, walk through the valley of the shadow of death, all said. They got $25 deals on everything. Towels all over the place, the 6-piece, the dish, the beach. They've got pillows of just about every order of kind that exists, $25. Under in the case of the original MyPillow. And I think the 2.0's got a buy one, get one, so 50-50 if you will. And they've got a lot of blankets, whole bunch of different kinds of blankets, $25. Great stuff. And the slippers, oh yeah, the slippers still there, $25. So again, incredible products. MyPillow.com/OTF. Super awesome sale going into Labor Day. MyPillow.com/OTF. Get the best night of sleep you've ever had, especially now on a freaking awesome new mattress. That's pretty rad. Pretty rad, man. Yeah, man, that's radical. Okay, Gold Star Families. Apparently this Trump thing, when he was trying to go down to Arlington, he actually maybe was having a little bit of a hard time getting in. They might not have wanted to let him go in there with his photographers. They thought he was doing something political on the anniversary of a day that's super special that no other president was actually commemorating. So there's that. I mean, there is that, no matter how you slice it. Oh, he was taking advantage of it. It was the actual anniversary, and your guy could have gone and done something the same, right? I think it's kind of weird that they chose not to do anything, actually, other than just name their names. But whatever the case is, supposedly Mike Johnson got involved, made some phone calls, said, hey, I hear that you guys aren't letting him in there. What the hell? That's not cool. So he got it fixed, supposedly. But now, of course, we hear the U.S. Army. CNN posted this, but the U.S. Army supposedly is rebuking Trump's campaign for incidents at Arlington National Cemetery. They're somehow upset at what happened. I don't know if this is some douchehole that they told a bullshit story to, and he's like, well, if that's true, then I'm upset with Trump. Or if he actually is just part of the deep state, I don't know. I mean, it seems really weird. Obviously, Trump has all of his ducks in a row on this one, so whoever this U.S. Army individual is, I believe when I read the story, it was like one person that was saying this, but he's speaking for them, it seems, as an official, but one official seems to be very against him, whatever the case is. Trump fans came out with the Fox poll, and they basically are slamming it right up front. They're like, Fox News polls always suck. They always have. Here's some examples. It's that time of year again, as they say. A look at polling from this same time period in 2020 shows that Fox was off in North Carolina, Arizona, and Nevada, from either 5.3% to 9.7%. Fox's only Georgia poll in 2020 was released in June, and that one overstated Joe Biden's support by 1.7%. President Trump continues to outperform polling from past cycles. President Trump is 10 points ahead of where he was in Arizona at this point in 2020, according to Fox. Likewise, he is running 8 points ahead of his 2020 polling in Nevada and 5 points of his 2020 polling in North Carolina. We see the same trend nationwide. A look at the Real Clear Politics average in Pennsylvania, for example, shows President Trump 6 points ahead of where he was at this point in 2020. and 9.4 points ahead of where he was in 2016. So he's improving based off of all their legitimate polling. Obviously, the deep state's going to try to make it sound like he's not, or that Kamala's killing it, or whatever the case is. Trump shares social media posts with QAnon phrases and calls for jail makers, says AP. Now, what happened, and I didn't really mention this yesterday because I felt it was kind of... So here is in my mind how this played out. Whether or not QAnon originally created these memes is possible, I don't know, or if they found memes that fit well with where we're at today, whatever the case was, or if they found a cool picture and made a meme, whatever, it doesn't matter. Memes were used and created or used in Q posts. Trump supposedly forwarded a bunch of those very same images. Now, it wasn't Q posts that he forwarded, but he forwarded the images themselves that were shared in the Q posts. He forwarded them. Now, he's forwarded a lot of images that also weren't Q posts, by the way. But specifically, these ones that were Q posts are getting a lot of attention. Again, I'm not trying to take away from it, but at the same time, I'm trying to put it in context a little bit. Trump shared a lot of memes. Some of them are just funny as hell. And not all of them are Q posts. So, again, it's not like it's 100% of everything he does is Q posts. But, again, he took a bunch of those Q post memes and shared those, which they were all good memes. And the ones that really got them butthurt the most, it seems, is the one that was talking about how all these tyrants should be rounded up and jailed or gitmoed or whatever. Like those types of memes, there's a few of those. And he shared those as well. So, again, Trump is, I think, acknowledging, here's what I'm going to do and whatnot, and maybe even connecting with some of us. But I'm just always hesitant. People just run way too far with stuff sometimes, way too far. It's like, you got me with a step or two of that, and then you lost me about 14 steps later. I was like, nope, you're around the corner. You're too far off at this point. There's too many things I have to believe happened because of that first thing that didn't seem like it happened. J.D. Vance. And again, it's just because I try to work with facts the best I can. Like, what we know, right? What we don't know, we don't know. And then trying to pretend what we don't know, we do know is really difficult for me. I don't know, professional stuff I've done. I don't know what it is. Something wrong with my brain. Maybe that's the problem. J.D. Vance mad at Kamala Harris for horrible stuff she said and basically tells her to go to hell for the disastrous Afghanistan event. And right, she criticizes him and her whole campaign and her whole administration's jacked. Anywho, here's J.D.
But to have those 13 Americans lose their lives and not fire a single person is disgraceful. Kamala Harris is disgraceful. We're going to talk about a story out of those 13 brave, innocent Americans who lost their lives. It's that Kamala Harris is so asleep at the wheel that she won't even do an investigation into what happened, and she wants to yell at Donald Trump because he showed up. She can go to hell.
Oh, no, you didn't. And they just clap and then start chanting USA. It's just a bunch of extra time. Kemp is participating in the Georgia fundraiser for Trump. I don't know what's going on over there. I really don't. They cheated hardcore, but now all of a sudden, we're friends? He did put some stuff into place. He has said some things publicly. I don't know what's going on with Georgia. I'm hoping we're okay. Trump claims Zuckerberg plotted against him during the 2020 election and soon-to-be released book. I don't know. We'll see also. It's weird how Zuckerberg's being all friendly all of a sudden, kind of, too. Maybe that's kind of what Trump was... I don't know. There's this... Trump's going to make money off the book, too. Again, there's so many weird things sort of spiraled into this one story. I'm not sure. Not sure where to go with that one. I think we'll see. Eric Trump, they've been talking a lot about this digital thing, this World Liberty Fi. New era of finance is here, crypto, DeFi. I'm very curious to see what this is. This is probably going to be them sort of kind of getting into the crypto world a little bit, capitalizing on it somehow. I don't know. And again, I don't know. It's probably the right thing to do for them, maybe for everyone. I don't know. It's so weird to me. It's still so strange. This is just fun. So Mike Nellis, I guess he's the dude that's he was the one that got recently asked by Congress, Jim Jordan, to come in and talk to him. He's the one that's in charge of Judge Duchan's daughter's company, the ones who've been fundraising off of all this stuff. And he posted this. He's a blue check mark, too. You should trust what he says. He says, "We have just received a subpoena from Jim Jordan and the Republican-led House Judiciary Committee. This is yet another abuse of power aimed at promoting a baseless right-wing conspiracy theory that links our company, Authentic, to Donald Trump's fraud trial. And we are blah, 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 blah." Vivid phrase like, "Whoa, buddy, hey, hold it, time out, I'm adding a bunch of shit." And then now, here's actual phrase words. "Your company is definitely and demonstrably linked to Trump's trial. Your business partner of presidents of Authentic is Lauren Mershon, the judge's daughter. She has been raising millions for her clients, including Adam Schiff, off the trial in which her father is judge. Lauren gave an interview in which she discussed her father's animosity for Trump. You are actively involved in promoting the Kamala Harris campaign. You are the white dudes for Harris guy, right? This is the definition of a conspiracy of election interference. Do not understand that, or do you just hope other people don't?" That's pretty funny. Pretty harsh, too. I like that. Here is Texas has introduced a new way for citizens to report suspected voter fraud. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton urged the public to report any potential violations of the state's election laws via the email tip line. That's illegal voting at try that again. Illegal voting at oag.texas.gov. Yeah, my brain did not want to say that properly. I'm not normally dyslexic, but there are moments where it's like, what is going on? Weird couple things. China's pressure campaign risks the end of the world. So they're messing around with the Philippines a bunch right now. The Philippines are not happy about it. There's this little contentious island chain / reef. It's not really an island chain. It's a reef kind of. And there's a boat that's been crashed there so they could claim it's theirs. Kind of a little interesting way that the Filipinos got a hold of this island somehow. But China's like, no, it's ours. And Filipinos like, no, it's ours. We have a boat on it. It's maritime. It's law. Get out of here. You're crazy. We literally have a boat on there. It's ours. We've planted a flag, as Eddie Izzard would have said. So they're fighting this, but this risks, the bigger picture in the story is this risks involving nuclear war because of the Philippines and whatnot. So they're trying to build additional storylines for once the Israel one fails with Iran and once the Ukraine one fails. Well, they need to then go to the Taiwan one, which of course will involve the Philippines because China needs those islands for their purposes, and Philippines aren't willing to give them up. We're going to back them, and Australia's out there helping us, so it should be interesting, I guess. This one trips me out just a little bit. John Podesta, he is the U.S. senior advisor to the president for international climate policy. He's set to meet with his Chinese counterpart, Liu Zhenmin. I'm sure I'm saying that wrong, but first off, China doesn't care about climate at all. Zero. So who's he actually meeting? Who is Liu Zhenmin? I don't know, but I feel like that's the story. This dude is the deep state. He's tied to the CCP, tied to the deep state. He's like the John Kerry of China. He is a douchehole, I'm sure. I don't know how you say that in Chinese. I bet you they don't have a douchehole in China, Chinese. That'd be rad, though, if they did. That'd be funny as hell. But, yeah, that's him. I guess that is the word. That's douchehole in Chinese, I guess. You just say Liu Zhenmin, however you say it properly, because I never can. Their words are so hard to pronounce for me. Even just saying sorry properly is, or thank you properly is just like, it's tough, it seems. Shishi, right? But like, I always feel like I say it wrong. Whatever. Taylor Swift, apparently, we've got some stories coming out. This cracks me up. This cracks me up. It's just because it's so ridiculous, it's not even funny. CIA apparently helped foil the ISIS terror attack on Taylor Swift's concert. The CIA. The CIA. You know, that group of people that we so can't trust. Whenever they come out with something like this, to me, it tells me Daily Mail's essentially reporting that the CIA was directly behind this and it failed. That's how I read that. It's just years of listening to these people make up bullshit headlines. Again, they have to have some truth baked into it. They try to spin it. They spin it right off the bat. And they spin it beautifully. You just try to get people to think in a certain direction, and now you've kind of won the war, really. They've already run down that rabbit hole. Right? Once they're in the rabbit hole, they're not coming out. People are easy to People are very easy to manipulate. I'll say that. It's just a trip. It's a trip how ridiculously easy it is to manipulate people. I try to be very responsible. With great power comes great responsibility. I actually try to wear that as best I can, but I am well aware of the larger problem at work. Google Chrome, if you've ever used it incognito, there's a possibility, at least if you're a California resident, that you could be compensated up to $5,000. I doubt that very much, but we'll see. I think there's a class action suit that's happening. I don't know who you would reach out to. Let's see if this case was brought. Does it tell us anywhere? For any of you guys out there that, so yeah, here it is. If you've gone incognito, you may be entitled to compensation. Attorney advertising material. Check if you qualify. So Don Bivens, PLLC. I don't know. Look it up if you're interested. I'm not really into promoting class action suits. I think they're stupid. But, yeah, you know, mailbox money. Could be, maybe. California Senate passes law banning voter ID in local elections, paving way for illegal voting. Yeah, we're still having a hard time. According to the bill's author, State Senator Dave Min, is an overwhelming body of evidence proves that voter ID laws only subvert voter turnout and create barriers to law-abiding voters. It subverts turnout because people that aren't legal don't turn out. They say it straight to your face, folks. They use the words matter, everything matters. They say it straight to your face. Yeah. But you hear it differently, right? Overwhelming body of evidence proves that voter ID laws only subvert voter turnout and creates barriers to law-abiding voters. Law-abiding. So law-abiding is also another fun one. They could have driven the speed limit on the way over there. Well, they're law-abiding. Not necessarily legally here, not necessarily actual citizens, but they abide by the laws, except those ones. Not all of the laws, but mostly law-abiding. Right? Like, it's just funny how words are. Words are a funny thing. Folks, we're changing things, but by no means is this war done. That's the hard part. Like, how do you keep... I just feel like I'm a cheerleader, frankly. It's not an easy job sometimes. In fact, I feel like there's a lot of times where I maybe could have been more cheerleadery. Wish I had bigger boobs. It would make it funner. No, it wouldn't. I don't know. Confusing. Folks, we're going through the crazy times, and we are making our noise heard. We're making our ripples felt. We're actually making a difference. It's because of you and what you're doing, how you're affecting this. It's up to us. It's up to us to take back this planet. I appreciate you helping. Thank you, guys. Where we definitely go one, and you can mean that however you want. But when there's one of us, there's all of us. It's on the Fringe with Dan Radio Style.